Hello and welcome to English Online's today's English mini lesson. This particular lesson is going to be just giving you some details about the TOEFL. Now, some of you have heard of the TOEFL, but maybe don't know much about it. This is just going to be a rough overview of that and just some details and maybe a few tips about it. Okay, let's take a look here. So first we see what does the TOEFL actually stand for? Well, the TOEFL is the test of English as a foreign language. Now, what's it used for? Well, it's a standardized test they use by most universities in the United States, and it's to determine your English level skills. Usually it's an entry requirement or application requirement if you're a foreign English speaker and you want to attend that university. So they will say you must meet at least this score on the test to be able to apply successfully to this university. Okay, so just the two types of tests. One you're really not going to see very much is going to be the paper-based test. It is still offered in some places, but it's much less common. More likely what you're going to see is the internet-based test. This is the test that's done entirely on the computer, and most of the books, most of everything you're going to see out there is going to say, IBT for the internet-based tests. Okay, so just give a quick breakdown of the test. There's going to be 4 active testing sections and 1 break section in the middle. And that break section's important too, so don't forget about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Each section, as you can see, is 30 points. So each section is equally important. So whatever your weaknesses are in these areas, you really need to look at what you can do to bring those up to a uniform level across all of these skills, because that's what they want to know. That's what they want to test. Okay, in this first section you see there's going to be a reading section. It's going to be from 60 to 100 minutes and will be worth 30 points. Next we'll have a listening section. That's between 60 to 90 minutes and again also worth 30 points. After that you come to your 10-minute break. And next, you go to the second half of the test, which is where you have a speaking section. It's going to be the shortest section in the test, only about 20 minutes, but it will be worth, again, just as much, 30 points. Finally, you'll have a writing section that'll be about 50 minutes long, and again, that will also be worth 30 points. Now, this, of course, brings us to a total of 120 points, and we'll talk about what the scoring should be a little later here. So let's look at the reading section here. So the reading section is going to be 4 to 6 passages, and each are going to be approximately 700 words in length. They're going to be on academic topics, so the kind of information, the kind of material you should be reading to prepare for this particular section, you should find some university level textbooks in English to really practice from. That's really going to be the kind of material you're presented, and that's the best thing you can find. It's going to be a lot of cause and effect and compare and contrast, and you'll have to be able to support that. So when you read these sections and they ask questions, they're going to want to know in the readings, what are these relationships of cause and effects, or how do you compare and contrast ideas that are presented in the reading material. Now, of course, they're going to be looking for overall comprehension because every reading test looks for that, and they're going to be testing your vocabulary. So this is also a lot where you really build those vocabulary skills and make sure you have a well-equipped active vocabulary. Okay. Next in our listening section, you're going to have 6 passages of things to listen to. They're going to be about 3 to 5 minutes in length each. You're going to have 2 student conversations and 4 academic lectures or discussions. So in the 2 student conversations, they're going to be a bit more casual usually, 2 students discussing some point. And of course, the more structured ones are going to be the academic or lecture discussions or conversations that are presented. The material is going to be presented much as a professor in a lecture would present information on a topic, and you're going to have to kind of be able to understand what's being said there and pick out each individual element. So now each conversation and lecture passage is heard only once, so it is really very important to take notes. I had some students that don't feel that it's necessary to take notes, or some students that find it even distracting. But honestly, this is a skill you should practice and make sure you're getting that detail down quickly and effectively. Even as a native speaker, I would take notes if I was listening to this test. And if you're not doing it, you're actually missing out on some really easy points. So you want to think about every little point counts. I mean, this is going to give you the kind of detail, the kind of information you need to get those few extra points to give you above the top. Okay, and again, you're going to be asked to see what the main ideas are and the details of what you've listened to, but also, and this is a little more advanced, what is being implied in the discussion or the lecture, or what is the attitude of the person speaking. That's not always clear by every word that's spoken just on a written page. But when we listen to someone speak, we can hear different things in the subtext, and that's going to be a really advanced skill they're looking for as well. So if you can practice that, understanding what's implied, you're really going to do well on this section. Okay, now as I said, this next part, the break time, is very important as well, because you should really have the right mindset. You've really got to relax. When you get that 10 minutes after the first half, just let go of everything that happened previously. You can't change it anyway. And really, the reason it's important to relax is because you're going to perform your best when you're relaxed. You're really going to be able to deliver your best you when you are relaxed. So if that means taking some time to take some deep breaths, I would definitely recommend doing some stretching. If your body's physically feeling well and well rested, and your muscles are well rested, your brain, your body, your ability to deliver mentally is going to be improved. So pay attention to this section too. Okay, so second half of the test, we start off with speaking. So in the speaking section, it's going to consist of 6 tasks, 2 independent and 4 integrated tasks. So you're going to speak spontaneously as you can. Try not to repeat a lot of words or be overly structured. Be careful not to be too monotone. Have a good relaxed tone to your speaking delivery, but also make sure you do maintain the correct structure. You'll be speaking about things you listen to and read, so again, taking notes is going to be a great way to make sure you get those extra points by making sure you pick out those extra details. So I can't stress this enough. Be good at practice taking notes for these particular sections. Okay, and we'll get to our writing section here. You're going to have 2 subsections of the writing task, an independent task and an integrated writing task. Well, what does that mean? Okay, well, in the integrated task, you're going to read and listen to what's presented, write a summary of that, and write about key relationships of those ideas in the information that's provided. So not only will you be asked to summarize that in your writing, but draw those relationships, draw those links between those ideas. Now, in the independent task, it's going to be much freer, much more open. You're going to write an essay that states your opinion and your beliefs or your choices about the information presented. But importantly, you have to really back up those ideas. So I think this because. So you do have lots of freedom to really show off your writing ability and be relaxed in your writing if that's a skill that you're hopefully good at. But make sure you're actually giving supporting details for your opinions. That sometimes gets forgotten, and that's an unfortunate way to lose points. So just make sure you're thinking of those ideas, and you'll be fine here. Now, this is just a really rough overview, so we're just kind of hitting the high points. I'll be sending some more videos later to talk about some more detailed skills for each section. So what's the score you need? Well, MIT and Harvard require a score of at least 100. Well, those are very top institutions in the world, so that's a pretty high number. But if you kind of shoot for at least around that number, that's going to get you into pretty much most places that you want to go, just about anywhere that you want to go. Now, some people have taken the IELTS or have heard of the IELTS, maybe are familiar with it. Just to give you an idea of the scoring comparison, if you kind of equate the two, the IELTS scoring we can see here is shown in relation to what the equivalent TOEFL score would be. So again, right about at the 7 range we see here is the same for that like 100 range. So that's really a good section to shoot for both of these tests. If you can get a 7 on your IELTS or around a 100 on your TOEFL, you're really going to be kind of really at the top end of the skill level. Okay, well, I'll be presenting some more information, so I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Be looking for some more. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe to the YouTube channel or join the Facebook group.